For this tutorial, we're going to focus on a little bit more editing, but mainly on audio. So in my frames little motion movie that I made before, I want to get more creative, just not have the movie play. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go to my library, I'm going to add some clip art effects. And there's a fun little cartoons one that most of the students will like to use. Oh, there's a BAM sign, let's use that one. And once again, remember you can manipulate these any way you want, you can shrink them down, but you're also going to see a problem you'll run into, and you probably guess it by now. I'm going to back up my movie a little bit. So let's move it back a bit. And when I hit play, you'll see what's wrong. Did you see it? Very subliminal what's going on because it was only up for 0.1 seconds, don't forget, with our time slider. But what you can do is, if I click on that frame, whether it's down here or if I find it down here, I can change the duration of that time for that individual frame. So now when I go back in my movie a bit and hit play, the BAM stays up there a little bit longer. And you can do this with anything that you add, whether it's going to be a shape, some text. So if I added a speech bubble, if I had like some claymation or a character, I can even add that speech bubble in there. But once again, let's just type in hi. If I don't make that bigger, it's just going to be subliminal. Boom, barely even saw that one. So I'm going to have to make the duration longer for that. And once again, you're going to have to play with the time, whatever works for you. When I'm done on my editing, then I get to move on to sound. I like doing my frames editing first just because if I change the duration of anything, it might throw off certain sounds I want in a certain area. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to rewind, and the first thing I want you to know is that whatever frame you're clicked on, that's where your sound's going to be inserted. The first style of sound that I'm going to do is I'm going to record my own voice. If you have a mic'd headset, you can use those, but if you have a netbook, you can just actually talk in your netbook as well. I'm going to hit the microphone record button and record. I'm on the SWAT team. Then you hit stop, and that recording you can listen back to. I'm on the SWAT team. And if you like it, I'm going to hit OK. And in a few seconds, it's going to pop it right in my program. Now you'll notice it goes into this bar. It is movable, and it can move down in the second bar as well. You get two lengths of a bar for audio. We can't go over that, unfortunately. So I'm going to put that back at the beginning, rewind my movie, and hit play. I'm on the SWAT team. Now you'll notice that there was a long gap between when I actually started speaking. The nice thing is, just like a picture, you can edit your recording as well. So if I play it up there, I'm on the SWAT team. I notice I didn't start talking to about there. If I click and drag this bar, I can actually cut out the shaded area. So if I cut that shaded area out, and now play it, I'm on the SWAT team. You'll notice I cut out that little dead space there. So I like that. We're going to put that back in, and when I rewind this time and hit play, I'm on the SWAT team. It's perfectly lined up the way I want it. So you can record lots of different dialogue, you can put multiple dialogues underneath each other, and that will add to kind of your presentation if you have talking or things that you want in there. Besides adding dialogue from the record feature, you can also import any music into this program. You have a couple different options to do that as well. If you go to your library, you'll notice that in your home you've got a couple different things. The sounds icon are sounds that the program actually provides for you. So I could get an animal sounds, let's get a cow mooing. And you'll notice it's going to go exactly where my frames is selected, and pops it in there, there's my cow mooing. A very loud cow. And if you ever want to delete something, you can always just click it and delete it. But you'll also notice in here, if I go back to home, and I have my music folder, which is the actual music folder from my computer. You could also go to the power button of frame and add an audio file. Since it's right here, I'll just click on that one, and I'll go to my background music and pick some kind of a background sound that I really like to use. Let's go with this polka's always good. And it pops it in. If I don't like the spot, don't forget, if I click and hold, I can move it wherever I want. So right at the beginning, I'm on the SWAT team. And you can hear the music playing. So remember, you only have those two spaces for sound. You can get away with getting more sound, but what you'd have to do is save this movie file and make it, and you could always import it into an iMovie or Windows Movie Maker, whatever you prefer, and just keep adding more soundtracks to it. The final tutorial is going to show you how to export this movie.